Welcome to Key Tech. Please describe this channel if you are interested in today's video. As we all know, the United States' suppression of China's high-tech industries, especially in 5G, chips, etc., is at its peak. The United States not only imposed sanctions on Chinese companies like Huawei and ZTE, but also united some allies to isolate China. However, the bullying by the United States not only did not bring China into submission, but on the contrary, it aroused China's fighting spirit and inspired China's innovative spirit. Some time ago, China launched a fierce counterattack against the United States and its allies, which caught them off guard. At the same time, it also showed the world China's firmness and strength in this regard. Under the pressure of the United States, the Netherlands officially imposed new restrictions on the export of lithography machines on June 30, which dealt a heavy blow to China's wafer industry. The lithography machine is a very important electronic product, and this kind of high-end EUV lithography machine can only be achieved by ASML in the Netherlands. Although China already has its own lithography technology, it still cannot match the international advanced technology. Therefore, the Netherlands has imposed export controls on China's semiconductor products, which undoubtedly has a huge impact on China's semiconductor industry. However, China was not discouraged by this and quickly adopted corresponding countermeasures. China's Ministry of Commerce and the General Administration of Customs decided on June 3 to impose export restrictions on 14 germanium and gallium-related products. They are indispensable raw materials in the fields of optoelectronics, semiconductors, and solar energy, and they are also the world's largest producer and exporter. Some countries like the Netherlands have to import from China in order to produce higher-end goods. Therefore, China's export control will bring them great harm. This counterattack was quick and accurate. The United States, Japan and the Netherlands stuck our neck, and we pulled out the blood vessel of the United States, Japan and the Netherlands. The Netherlands imposed export restrictions on September 1, while China imposed export controls on August 1. That way, the Netherlands will have some time to reflect on their options. Unlike previous protests, this time China did not argue with the United States, Japan, and the Netherlands, but counterattacked mercilessly, pointing at their weaknesses. Next, let's wait and see how the United States, Japan and the Netherlands respond. I believe they will quickly admit defeat. The first is about the Netherlands. According to foreign media reports, the Dutch government is reviewing ASML's product export license and hopes to communicate and cooperate with the Chinese government. This is because China is able to get out of the Netherlands, but he has been unable to get out of China's country. If the Netherlands is not reconciled, they can continue to attack, because there are many things in China's counterattack toolbox that have not been used. The second is Japan. China's counterattack against Japan will also cause them a certain psychological burden. As an island country, Japan is also a country with poor resources. If it wants to develop its own semiconductor industry, it must rely on the raw materials and markets provided by China. Therefore, the Japanese government imposed an import ban on 23 semiconductor products some time ago, but did not clearly point out that these bans are aimed at China. After all, For its own benefit, Japan does not want to conflict with China. As for America, they will be very unhappy. He thinks he is a world leader and can control the countries of the world, but now it seems that this power is no longer what it used to be. Those of his colleagues will not obey his orders, but will work for their own benefit. The U.S. policy of suppressing China has not played any role. On the contrary, China has made repeated attempts at self-innovation and self-development. Therefore, the U.S. media must say frankly, China has underestimated China's will. The determination of the Chinese nation, the strength of the Chinese nation, the strength of the Chinese nation, the strength of the Chinese nation, and the Chinese nation are obvious to all. Now, China is accelerating the development of its own chip industry, so that it is no longer dependent on foreign manufacturers. China has made great progress in chip design, production and packaging, and in the next few years, China will become a completely independent country. They also said that continued pressure from the United States on China will make China more cohesive and creative, thereby speeding up the pace of getting out of the U.S. technological blockade. Although these remarks are somewhat intimidating, they also reflect the U.S. media's worries and fears about China. They know very well that the United States can no longer hold back China's strength, so they will try every means to contend with China and suppress China. However, the United States must understand that the Chinese state is not a sheep to be slaughtered. China has its own dignity and its own principles. Once provoked, it is a pair of sharp claws counterattack. In short, this shows China's strength and confidence in the high-tech industry, and it also shows that China has sufficient ability to defend its own rights and interests. China will not cause trouble, nor will it be afraid of trouble. China can cope with all challenges and difficulties. China firmly believes that as long as more than 140,000 Chinese people work together to build a technological power and production power as a guide, the joint attack of the United States, Japan, and the Netherlands will be superfluous and futile.